Welcome to the 35th Annual West Coast Ragtime Festival. I'm Virginia Tishner, the Festival Director. 2021 has been another challenging year for us. We had hoped that we'd all be back in person at the Marriott in Rancho Cordova by now, but the uncertainties with the ongoing pandemic did not make that possible this year. We truly hope that we can be back together in person in 2022. We all miss being together at the Marriott in Rancho Cordova and the excitement of the live performances. But West Coast Ragtime Society has prepared a full weekend of special shows and concerts for you to enjoy online. To emulate as much as we can of the actual West Coast Ragtime Festival experience, we've programmed a total of 8 different concerts over 3 days. You will find familiar special shows and individual sets performed by our stellar lineup. There will be a 90-minute break between each program. We hope you enjoy our weekend of ragtime events. Now, here's a message from the West Coast Ragtime Society's president, Bub Sullivan, and his wife, Petra Sullivan.
Hi, I'm Bub Sullivan, president of the West Coast Ragtime Society, which is dedicated to the promotion, preservation, and performance of ragtime and vintage American music.
Hi, I'm Petra Sullivan, member of the West Coast Ragtime Society. Our 35th annual festival is brought to you by this society and is supported by donations from listeners like you.
Please feel free to show your appreciation to these fine musicians through your donations.
Thank you very much.
Here's a message from West Coast Ragtime Society's Vice President, Dravon, about how to support the musicians featured during the weekend.
Hi everyone, I'm Dravon from the West Coast Ragtime Festival Board. We are dedicated to the promotion and preservation of ragtime and vintage American music. This 35th annual festival is brought to you by the West Coast Ragtime Society and supported by donations from listeners like you. Please feel free to show your appreciation to these fine musicians through your donations. Thank you. Here's how you can support the musicians featured in the 2021 West Coast Ragtime Festival. As a nonprofit, tax-exempt 501c3 corporation, we welcome your donations, which will support the musicians featured all weekend. There are 3 ways you can donate to the West Coast Festival Ragtime Society. First, you can donate through PayPal. You can get there through the West Coast Ragtime website membership donation page, or by going directly to PayPal and putting West Coast Ragtime in the send. You can also make a donation by credit card over the phone. Please call 415-891-3096 to donate using a credit card. Our festival staff will be available throughout the festival weekend, during the broadcast, in between our live broadcasts, and 1 hour after our live broadcasts to accept your donations over the phone. That's Friday, November 19th from 3 to 9 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday, November 20th and 21st from noon to 9 Pacific Standard Time. And finally, you can make a donation by mailing a check to the West Coast Ragtime Society, P.O. Box 13346, Sacramento, California, 95813. And once again, thank you so much for your support.
Our Friday program today is being broadcast live on Friday, November 19th, 2021 at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our first program today will be the traditional Friday Festival Sampler Show that features a concert with each performer playing just one piece. Here's the opportunity to catch a sample of the festival weekend with multiple performers all in one show. Immediately following this year's Festival Sampler Show is a special St. Louis Ragtime Showcase that was produced by TJ Muller and Ethan Leinwand, highlighting the vibrant St. Louis ragtime community. You'll see new and familiar faces.
Do you want a chocolate? I could eat about 1.5 million of these. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Hello, and welcome to the 35th Annual West Coast Ragtime Festival, and the second one to be done virtually. I'm Jack Rummel, and I was lucky enough to be chosen to virtually MC our opening concert the festival sampler. Before the onset of the COVID pandemic, we hardly knew what virtual meant. Now, at the end of 2021, it seems all of our encounters have become virtual. Next year, we plan to have a real live festival. Hey, I think I hear the sound of all you cheering and clapping. It seems every year I spot new gray heads in our audience, and I worry about the future of ragtime. Yet, every year it seems I'm blown away by a new talented youngster, most of them still in their early teens. These are our future. This year it's Isaiah Burton who will dazzle you with a lightning-fast rendition of a tricky rag by Tom Breyer from 1994. This piece will also remind us how much we miss Tom. Luckily, there's a stable of performers, young and old, who are intent on keeping Tom's legacy alive. Now, hold on to your seat for a wild ride.
All right, folks, it's time for a blazing hot barn burner by the amazing Tom Breyer. From 1994, here's his great signature, appropriately titled Razor Blades.
Newcomers to the West Coast Ragtime Festival might be surprised that our next performer, looking demure as she plays, entertains weekly at the Bucket of Blood Saloon in her hometown of Virginia City, Nevada. Squeek Steele was classically trained in Oberlin Conservatory and has performed all over the world. She holds a Guinness World Record for playing the most songs from memory. On this video, she's playing a 1913 rag by Irene Kozad, a resident of Kansas City. Enjoy this relatively rare rag.
This rag is called Eatin' Time by Irene Kozad, and listen for the dessert course at the end.
This year's festival will focus on the ragtime of 1901. So let's hear High Society, a 1901 composition by Porter Steele, which, over the years, has become a traditional jazz standard. This version is actually based on a 1940 recording by Lou Waters. To bring it to us, we turn to the West Fest Wanderers, 8 syncopating musicians, each playing in a different location and united through today's electronic wizardry. I think you'll marvel at the resulting precision. How many players can you recognize? Well, don't worry. They'll be identified at the end, so sit back and tap your feet to the West Fest Wanderers. David Thomas Roberts is to be featured in this year's festival, so it's only fitting that he be part of the festival sampler. David is a native of Mississippi and has strong ties to Missouri as well, but now calls California his home. He has chosen a commissioned work, first premiered at the 2017 festival, and, for myself and anyone who follows his early ragtime compositions, the first few measures of the A strain immediately mark it as a DTR piece. But don't be complacent, it's still packed with originality and excitement, so savor it.
This work is called The Lyrical Life, and it was commissioned by and dedicated to my friend and patron, Dr. Belur Tanaup of El Dorado Hills, California. This piece has a long story that can't be told here for time limitations, but it was actually originally intended as a gift for somebody by Belur, but things worked out such that I thought it really should be her piece in every sense. So that's what's significant here. This is a rhythmic piece, but which also has a lot of lyrical impact. That's a fetching combination that I think I will never tire of. This rhythmic vitality, especially truly driving, wild rhythmic nature, combined with this great melodic tenderness. That for me is one of the most gratifying things as a melody-centric composer when I'm operating primarily as a melodist, as is the case with my Americana work and most certainly including my ragtime-based work. So here then for Bilur Tanaut, this is the Lyrical Life.
Takashi Hamada is a native of Japan who specializes in guitar ragtime. I was first introduced to his music when he sent me a CD for review back in 2006, and I was impressed with his talents. He also arranged for David Thomas Roberts to visit Japan and to concertize there. Now we have him represented virtually in California on our festival sampler, playing his own composition, Ranshima.
Next tune is called Ranshima. It is my original classic ragtime by ragtime guitar solo. Thank you.
Two ragtimers who have been leaders for years in the West Coast Ragtime Society and its annual festival are Bub and Petra Sullivan. Bub, who is currently WCRS president, will be singing and demonstrating his soft shoe talents, and Petra will accompany on the piano. Here they are with I'm Certainly Living a Ragtime Life by Gene Jefferson and Robert Roberts from 1900.
Got more troubles than I can stand, ever since ragtime has struck the land, ever since got the ragtime craze, fought it just as long as I could. At last I got it and I got it good. First I didn't belong to me, but now you can't lose me. I got a ragtime dog and a ragtime cat, ragtime piano and a ragtime flat, with ragtime clothes from head to shoes. Read a paper called a ragtime news. Got ragtime habits and I talk that way. I sleep in ragtime and I rag all day. I got ragtime troubles with my ragtime wife. I'm certainly living a ragtime life. Church last Sunday morn, influent ragtime as shirts were born. Every good man wants it on his gong. Clocks and watches are all running wrong. Cakewalk music, it fills the air. It can't be dodged because it's everywhere. Once I didn't belong, you see, but now you can't lose me. I got a ragtime dog and a ragtime cat, ragtime piano in my ragtime flat, ragtime clothes from head to shoes. I read a paper called the Ragtime News. Got ragtime habits and I talk that way. I sleep in ragtime and I rag all day. I got ragtime troubles with my ragtime wife. I'm certainly living a ragtime life.
Ethan Leinwand is a fairly new resident of St. Louis, but it hasn't taken him long to champion the early syncopated traditions of the city. Here he's chosen a blues by Les Copeland and a barrelhouse piece by Will Ezel, and cleverly mashed them together using a musical phrase shared by both compositions. Later in the festival, we'll hear a St. Louis Ragtime Showcase that he co-produced with T.J. Muller, which is a mini-sampler in itself. Meanwhile, have fun with the mashup.
Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to play for you a mashup of two tunes. It's the Texas Blues by Les Copeland from 1917 and a piece by a barrelhouse pianist, Will Ezel, from 1929 called Heifer Dust. Will Ezel was a barrelhouse piano player from Shreveport. Les Copeland was a ragtime composer and performer. Now, this piece shares a common strain that either Will Ezel had heard from Les Copeland's piece, or Les Copeland had heard this similar strain when he was down in the Texas area and then composed this piece based on it. Either way, it really demonstrates the cool and important connections between ragtime and barrelhouse blues. So I hope you enjoy this mashup of Texas Blues and Heifer Dust.
The West Coast Ragtime Festival attracts fans and artists from across the country and around the world. Some of our international ragtimers visit us year after year, and Christoph Schmetterer from Austria certainly fits that description. His gentle demeanor comes across in his performances, and this year his heartfelt attachment to the festival is poignantly expressed in his latest composition, Missing Sacramento. Kevin Gunia is a newcomer to the festival, but he is obviously well versed in the musical styles of the early 20th century. He discovered the festival through his friendship with Michael Chisholm, and they will play a 2-piano set on this evening's concert. Kevin is a composer, pianist, organist, and music transcriber who has transcribed works by George Gershwin, Jelly Roll Morton, and others. He is currently a graduate student at the University of Colorado, where he also serves as aural skills instructor. He has chosen one of his transcribed works, a piano solo from a Broadway show scored by Gershwin, OK, from 1926.
The next tune is Do 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 from the 1926 Gershwin musical OK. This solo version is taken from Gershwin's own 1926 recording, which I transcribed note for note.
If you own a compact disc released on the Rivermont label, you have been touched by one of the many skills of Bryan Wright, that of record producer. Bryan is also a talented ragtime pianist, and for this concert he has selected Camille by David Thomas Roberts from 1979, one of a dozen exceptional compositions by David from that year. Bryan's sensitivity at the keyboard will tug at your emotions. Whenever Richard Dowling and Frederick Hodges team up, you know you're in for some musical fireworks. Richard's from Texas, Frederick is from California, but these two classically trained professionals have become such festival favorites that they practically need no introduction. For their contribution to our sampler, they have picked a novelty piano piece by Harry Sosnick from 1935. You'll have fun with this one.
Our next piece is a clever piano novelty called Gaiety, composed in 1935 by pianist, composer, and orchestra leader Harry Sosnick.
We will be performing the two-piano arrangement prepared by the great Franco-American pianist Jacques Frey, who was half of the famous 1920s and 30s two-piano team of Frey and Bragiotti.
Most people know Andrew Greene as the conductor of the Peacherine Ragtime Society Orchestra, but he's also a highly skilled pianist. For this year's festival, he takes leave of his orchestral duties and will be a featured soloist in his own set on this evening's concert. His role fits right into our festival sampler, and he will play Northern Lights Rag, composed in 2009 by another favorite from past festivals, Max Keenlyside. Carl Sonny Leyland grew up in England, but now calls Southern California his home. He's performed at many festivals here and around the world, and he hosts a weekly radio show called Rhythm Retrospective on KCSM in San Mateo. Ever since his first appearance at a West Coast festival, Sonny has been wildly popular and has proved that ragtime lovers can really dig boogie-woogie. Get ready as he applies his inimitable driving style to a 1928 pop tune that was a big hit for Connie Francis in 1961.
Here's a number from 1928 composed by DeSilva, Brown, and Henderson, Together. I mean the name of the song. Of course, they composed it together, too.
Charlie Judkins and Miss Maybell are from New York City. This is their first appearance at a West Coast festival, and we hope it won't be their last. Charlie plays a solid, unadorned piano backup to Miss Maybell, who sings a lively, animated rendition of a popular song from 1912, "Oh, You Circus Day."
Hi, folks. Here's a good old song, "Oh, You Circus Day." We learned this from the great Stella Mayhew, and it's from 1912, written by Edith Lessing and Jimmy Monaco. And on our recording, you'll hear Colin Hancock on cornet, Bryan Alepka on tuba, and of course Charlie Judkins on piano. Hope you enjoy.
Around, but once a year, oh,
When it comes to naming the top ragtime artist anywhere, Morten Gunnar Larsen from Norway would certainly be a contender. A true gentleman with a sly sense of humor, he never fails to bring audiences to their feet. He's also conducted the Ophelia Orchestra for 40 years and has brought with him a video of their 40th anniversary performance in Oslo, and you'll be able to watch that later in the festival. Plus, as an added bonus, the video will be hosted by none other than Max Morath. For his appearance on the festival sampler, Morten has chosen a composition considered to be one of the 3 finest rags ever written, Grace and Beauty by James Scott from 1909. Be prepared to be gracefully dazzled. Now it's time for the St. Louis Ragtime Showcase that I mentioned earlier, produced by Ethan Leinwand and T.J. Muller. Both of these gentlemen visited St. Louis, immersed themselves in its musical history and its vibrant current scene, and decided to settle here. They make great tuneful ambassadors for St. Louis, videotaping many young artists carrying on the city's early tradition of ragtime and blues, and ending with the St. Louis Ragtimers, who are still going strong after 60 years.
Well, hi everybody. My name is Ethan Leinwand. This is TJ Muller here. We are here in St. Louis, Missouri, and we want to thank the West Coast Ragtime Festival for giving us this opportunity to perform for you. And what we decided to do this year is to do a bit of a sampler of what St. Louis has to offer and try to put it all together for you in a nice little video. So we're going to start off with the St. Louis Rag. We went down kind of guerrilla style to the location of Tom Turpin's Rosebud Cafe, where it used to stand. It's a FBI headquarters sort of now. I'm sure he would get a kick out of that. But so we pulled out the little guy piano, or my little 64-key piano, got to the sidewalk of where the Rosebud Cafe was. So here's the St. Louis Rag.
Hi folks! Next up, my group, the Gaslight Squares, is going to perform Arthur Marshall's 1906 composition, Kinklets. We recorded this at the beautiful and historic Opera House of Pacific, originally built in 1908 from materials and ornamentals salvaged from the World's Fair of 1904. This incredibly preserved venue right on our doorstep has been a home to ragtime and vaudeville for over 100 years.
Hello, my name is Royce Martin. I am a pianist and composer from St. Louis, Missouri. I have been interested in Scott Joplin's music my whole life. Since I've been working at the Scott Joplin State Historic Site in Missouri, I have been interested in how his music relates to modern day music, more specifically American music. This is Scott Joplin's Pineapple Rag, published in 1908.
Hi, my name is Richard Egan, and I'm from St. Louis, and I'm going to be playing a piece by my fellow St. Louis and Trebor Tishner. Trebor wrote this in 1969 and recorded it in 1973. It is called The Last Trip Down from Hannibal, and it is his musical interpretation of being able to ride a riverboat from Hannibal to St. Louis on its last ride. The boat was the Becky Thatcher II, which later opened as a restaurant on the St. Louis levee. It was just downstream from the Goldenrod Showboat and near the Admiral, and there were many other boats lined up along the levee, and that was a very important part of my childhood memories of growing up in St. Louis, especially getting to hear the music coming off the boats and onto the levee. So here we go. Here's The Last Trip Down from Hannibal.
Hi folks, coming up my 11-piece group, the Arcadia Dance Orchestra, is going to play for you a piece with deep St. Louis roots, that famous murder ballad, Frankie and Johnny. The Arcadia Dance Orchestra performs monthly concerts here in St. Louis, and we specialize in the historic jazz of our city. Our rendition of Frankie and Johnny will be performed in the style of Fate Marable's great Riverboat Orchestra, which worked right here in St. Louis in the early parts of the 20th century.
Okay, we're down on the levee of St. Louis, right here by the historic Eads Bridge. And we're gonna play the kind of music that was played here in the 20s and 30s. And this is Miss Jubilee, Valerie Kirchhoff, joining us to sing a song called the Western Union Blues.
I woke up this morning as the clock was striking. We are the St. Louis Ragtimers, and this is the Swipesy Cakewalk, written in 1900 by Scott Joplin and Arthur Marshall.
All right, folks, TJ and I here are going to play The Good Gravy Rag by Harry Belding, which was a 1913 composition published right here in St. Louis. thanks for listening, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, come visit us in St. Louis sometime and see what we have to offer in person. Thanks a lot.
I remember you did a great version of Here Comes a Showboat, da 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 da. Did you know other tunes for that besides that?
That's the only tune I could play.
Okay.
On the piano.
Well, that'll come in handy if you ever get a job on a showboat, a genuine old-time showboat.
We were down there about 20 years.
Oh my gosh. Seems only 20? Seems like it was longer than that.
Not all the time. We came home.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were the days.
We hope you've enjoyed both of these samplers and that you'll continue to explore the many hours of syncopated music ahead this weekend, which has been assembled for your enjoyment. As for me, I'm going to quit talking and become a happy listener. So long for now.
The great performers presented in this year's online version of the West Coast Ragtime Festival are being compensated solely by donations from viewers like you. After recovering the production costs of this year's festival, the remaining donations received during the weekend will go to the musicians. There are 3 ways for you to donate to West Coast Ragtime Society. First, you can donate to us using PayPal. You can get there from the West Coast Ragtime Festival donation page, displayed here, or by going to the festival's page on PayPal. You can also make a donation to us by credit card. Please call 415-891-3096 to donate using a credit card. Our festival staff is available throughout the weekend, during our live broadcasts, in between our broadcasts, and 1 hour after our live broadcasts to accept credit card donations over the phone. That's Friday, November 19th, 3 to 9 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, the 20th and 21st, noon to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Lastly, you can also mail us a donation by check at the address displayed here. West Coast Ragtime Society, P.O. Box 13346, Sacramento, California, 95813. All this information is also available on the Facebook and YouTube page for each concert. We greatly appreciate all your support. I hope you enjoyed our first concert today. Let's take a 90-minute break, and we'll be back soon for the Friday evening concert featuring Charlie Judkins and Miss Maybell, David Thomas Roberts, Squeek Steele, Andrew Greene, Michael Chisholm and Kevin Gunia, and Ivory and Gold, who are Jeff and Ann Barnhart. Our evening show is emceed by Richard Dowling. See you in 90 minutes.